Total volume over the year stands at 5,945,000 tonnes, up by 22%. Growth profited from the 49% increase in export grain activity, which, at 2,709,000 tonnes, represents 46% of total activity. Agro-industrial activities are up by 7%, with 3,236,000 tonnes handled. For the second financial year running, agro-industry accounts for more than half of business activity. These agro-industrial activities serve the following sectors: rapeseed for Saipol, wheat for Tereos and Panzani, sugar for Saint-Louis Sucre, and cocoa for Cargill and Barry Callebaut. 2,139,000 tonnes of rapeseed were handled as part of supply to the Saipol plant and management of oil, ester and feed pellet manufacturing. Activity remained stable despite a production shutdown of over 3 weeks. In Lillebonne, business has grown, with 708,000 tonnes handled as part of the supply of wheat to the Tereos plant and management of gluten and distillers' grain co-products. For the second year, Sénalia transferred the durum wheat delivered by train onto barges to supply Panzani plants in the Paris area. This multimodal hub business activity is set to grow. As for sugar, volumes for Saint-Louis Sucre totaled 177,000 tonnes, taking advantage of the abolition of quotas and the abundant harvest. Sénalia handled 22% of exported French sugar. Libya, Syria, Mauritania and Egypt account for over 60% of the volume. The cocoa bean activity, serving the Barry Callebaut and Cargill plants, stands at 142,000 tonnes and is experiencing consistent growth. Agro-industrial performance is supported by a huge investment programme. The Serio IT system unifies practices and allows operational data to be shared with industry players. For cocoa, doubling the number of units has increased rotations and the number of grades managed simultaneously. For rapeseed, a conveyor between the vessel unloading area and the storage area is currently being developed. This will eliminate CO2 emissions from truck rotations and will improve safety. The Lillebonne site has new equipment to recover gluten. The increased number of units limits caking and improves FIFO management. Gluten dust is extracted and returned to Tereos to be recovered, improving profitability and working conditions. Sugar has a new loading conveyor which doubles the container bag loading capacity. The site can now load bags, big bags and bulk containers at the same time. Export grain activity is driven by milling wheat, which has tripled in terms of volume. Sénalia has solidified its position as the largest logistics operator for barley at the port of Rouen. Malting barley is expanding, benefiting from high-quality infrastructure that allows storage by variety and customer. In terms of quality, the year was marked by higher levels of protein than required by traditional markets. Segregation and blending upon receipt was used to maintain premium wheat grades for demanding markets such as Saudi Arabia. Over the period in question, Sénalia handled 21.8% of French grain exports. Algeria, the EU, Morocco, Saudi Arabia and Tunisia account for 90% of volume. Algeria, the leading importer of French wheat, has cemented its position. Hinterland regions have seen increases, except for Normandy, which remains stable due to the new competitive landscape at the port of Rouen. Bulk transport via barge and train account for 41% of volumes received, a total of 1,167,000 tonnes. This figure has been constantly increasing for 5 years and is the result of the mass investment made in barge unloading. In a difficult context of union action by railway workers, SNCF, and floods, this performance is built on the shuttle partnerships Sénalia has put in place with its affiliates. They now transport 360,000 tonnes, 30% of bulk transport. Sénalia is continuing with its major investment plan in terms of services. The team dedicated to operating train and barge shuttles has been bolstered by Majestev's expertise. Serio offers a real-time overview of activity, peaks, unloading time, weight, quality, etc., benefiting both Sénalia customers and affiliates. This IT system can be interfaced to limit duplicate entries. The integration of a customs and transit department offers an all-inclusive arrangement that is cost-effective and responsive. In terms of infrastructure, 3 new grading stations have been set up in Presqu'île Elie. The new Grand Couronne ship loaders will be capable of loading 3,000 tons per hour without dust and without vessels having to move and remoor. Sénalia is the only operator at the port of Rouen that is capable of loading Panamax-type vessels to the maximum capacity permitted by the depth of the channel. It is also the best performing port facility in Europe. At almost €8 million, the multi-year investment plan has continued to be implemented at a steady pace. The new Grand Couronne gantries account for 50% of the budget. This investment policy forms part of a solid financial structure. Turnover increased by almost 20%, boosted by export grain activities and the doubling in turnover from sugar. A total of 75% of GOS, which accounts for 21% of turnover, comes from agro-industrial activity GOS. Net income and CIF reflect the group's improved activity, with equity increasing to almost €90 million. Net debt represents 11% of the balance sheet total, and the debt repayment ratio is less than 2 years' worth of CIF. On the 30th of June 2018, the Sénalia team had 150 employees, a slight increase. 16 new employees joined the company over the financial year, resulting in a slight lowering of the average age.